So we're gonna talk about feminine traits that men find irresistible in a woman. Now, we're gonna first list off the most obvious feminine trait because the men cannot do the first one. Okay, so that's just a warning. The first one is a little ratchet, but but you know, if you're a lady and you were raised in the social media era, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what other traits you think I should have included, and let's begin. All right, ladies. So the first one is thirst traps. I don't care what man you are. Most men will fall for a thirst trap. It's just that simple. There was this one girl who I was dating who in the first date, it didn't go too well, right? I mean, she was nice, she was friendly, but she just seemed a little bland, like food without salt, right? and she was this nerdy girl, but you know, she didn't really stand out. She seemed like to have a bland personality, a bland look. And then one day she posted a photo of her going to the club. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. She completely transformed the way she looked. She had eyeliner, she had a skirt. Let's just be honest, she was showing some skin, people. And I don't know why, I was like, you know what, maybe I should hit her up. And I remember when I met her again, she was like, so did that thirst trap work? And I was like, oh, what do you mean, what thirst trap? She was like, yeah, the one that I posted. I know you reacted to that. And I was like, girl, I was just thinking of you, and I remember you, and I'm back in New York City. She was right, people. The thirst trap worked like a charm, hook, line, and sinker. And the reason why is because men are visual creatures.
The psychology behind thirst traps can be attributed to several factors. Visual stimulation. Thirst traps typically involve visually appealing content, often highlighting physical attractiveness, sex appeal, or showcasing desirable attributes. Research shows that humans are naturally drawn to visually stimulating stimuli, such as attractive faces or well-toned bodies. These images activate areas of the brain associated with reward and pleasure, leading to heightened interest and attention. Self-presentation and validation. Thirst traps can be seen as a form of self-expression and self-promotion. By showcasing their best features or moments, individuals seek validation, attention, and affirmation from others. When people receive positive feedback, likes, and comments on their posts, it boosts their self-esteem and reinforces their self-worth, thus further motivating them to continue posting similar content. Social comparison. Social media platforms are notorious for fostering a culture of comparison. Thirst traps can trigger feelings of envy or aspiration in viewers who may compare themselves to the person in the post. This comparison can fuel a desire to attain similar levels of attractiveness, popularity, or social status, making the content more enticing. Evolutionary instincts. Thirst traps can tap into evolutionary instincts related to mate selection and reproductive success. Men, in particular, may be biologically wired to respond to visual cues indicative of fertility and genetic fitness. Displaying physical attractiveness and desirability in thirst trap posts may trigger an instinctive response in men, making them more receptive to the content.
Unfortunately, if a man needs to visualize how you look, and if you don't give him something to think about, something to imagine, his curiosity to get to know you is not gonna be as much, right? Like, and it sounds so superficial, but people, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with bodies, and we're both trying to find someone to mix our genes together and create a kid, right? At the end of the day, so you need something for you to see, right? So thirst traps work. I don't care. Call it moral, call it right or wrong. I don't care. But the point is that it works, and you should definitely learn to utilize it in a way that's sophisticated, but it's not too much, because then you have the OnlyFans accounts, right? That's not a thirst trap, okay? That's an ocean. That's too much, all right? So that's the first one. Now the second one, these are more healthy, is selective weakness. Pretty much, it means that unfortunately, a lot of women today are trying to show off how strong they are, how independent they are, how little they need a man. And there's nothing wrong with communicating that you don't need a man, right? It's actually kind of healthy
Here's why men need to feel needed in a relationship. Sense of purpose. Feeling needed gives men a sense of purpose and value in the relationship. It validates their role as a provider, protector, and supporter. It boosts their self-esteem and confidence. Fulfillment of masculine identity. Men often associate their masculinity with being needed by their partner. It is ingrained in societal expectations and traditional gender roles. When they feel needed, it affirms their role as a man and enhances their sense of identity. Emotional connection. By being needed, men feel emotionally connected to their partner. It creates a bond and deepens the emotional intimacy in their relationship. Knowing that their partner relies on them for support and comfort strengthens their connection, demonstrating love and care. Men express their love and care through actions. When they feel needed, they have the opportunity to demonstrate their affection by providing help, guidance, and support. It allows them to show their commitment and dedication to the relationship. On the other hand, not making men feel like you need them can potentially push them away. Here's why. Lack of validation. If men don't feel needed, they may question their importance in the relationship. It can lead to feelings of insecurity, inadequacy, and a lack of fulfillment. Over time, this can create distance and strain the connection between partners. Diminished sense of contribution. When men don't feel needed, they may struggle to find ways to contribute to the relationship. This can result in a loss of motivation and engagement. They may feel unappreciated and undervalued, which can lead to dissatisfaction. Reduced emotional connection. Not making men feel needed can diminish the emotional connection between partners. It may create a sense of detachment and make them feel like they are not an integral part of their partner's life. This can potentially lead to a breakdown in communication and intimacy.
To some degree, right? The problem is that a lot of ladies out there are becoming terminators, walking terminators, completely independent of any man. You don't need a man, and you try to show that you are strong. Like, in other words, like, you try to show a man that you are as strong as he is. This is just a misconception and completely misunderstanding what it is that men find attractive in a woman. For example, it's like men who believe that if they get big, women like men who are muscular, right? True. But then a man will begin to see or judge what a woman finds attractive from a man's point of view. A man thinks getting big is good, so they don't know the limits of how big you should get. In other words, some men get so big that they begin impressing other men, and it begins pushing some women away, right? They kind of took it too far. So because of your lack of understanding of what women really like, which is a man who's muscular but not too muscular, a woman also makes that mistake when it comes to femininity. A man likes a woman who's masculine, but not too masculine. A man likes a woman who is independent, but not too independent of him. It becomes unattractive, right? Now, don't get mad at me, okay? I did not make people, all right? I did not make women. I did not make men. I am not the programmer, all right? Unfortunately, when most men, when they encounter a woman who's more successful, who is more socially dominant, who is his boss, those men are gonna find that woman to be too masculine, too strong, in their minds a little boring. What you gotta learn to implement is selective weakness. You gotta learn to show a man, be selectively weak. In other words,
it is not a weakness to disguise your strengths if in the end they lead to power. By letting others outshine you, you remain in control instead of being a target. The key is to strategically downplay your abilities and strengths, allowing those around you to underestimate you. Use this perceived weakness as a cloak to conceal your true capabilities. This way, you can gather information, observe quietly, and strike when the time is right, catching others off guard. By keeping your strengths hidden, you maintain an element of surprise and maintain control over the narrative. Remember, it's not about being weak, but about appearing weaker than you truly are. In this dance of power, subtlety and strategy reign supreme.
if you know that you are completely independent, my God, act weak somewhere. Like, honestly, like if you're financially independent, then show some weakness emotionally, or even exaggerate, or even talk about how isolated it feels to be this successful. The point is that you have to show some weakness. It is insecurity not to show weakness. You have to be able, and if you don't have any weakness, First of all, who the hell are you? Second of all, if you don't have any weakness, then fake it, motherfucker. Like, fake the weakness. Jesus Christ. Like, you cannot be Terminator mode. Can't be the Hulk, ladies and gentlemen. You have to show some weakness. Men, why? Because guys like to, it's like it validates their masculinity. When a woman needs a man, they feel right at home. But when a man notices that a woman doesn't need him, it comes across like a little dry. It comes across a little cold. For example, it's because it is a double standard. Let's just be honest. When a man acts dominant, he's confident. When a woman acts dominant, she's a bitch, right? That's like the stereotype. When a woman, so it's kind of like it. Let's understand that it is unfair, okay? But let's address the reality. You have to show some weakness, because then showing your weakness is how a man opens up to you. Showing your weakness is how a man will show you his weakness as well, right? But if you're too defensive, too hard, too strong, what could end up happening is that a man will begin to act feminine around you, will begin to depend on you, even, and that will turn you off. And it's just, the dating world is 100% unfair for women, when it comes to relationships, because unfortunately, having a successful financial life pushes some men away, right? In fact, some men even ask you to stop working and take care of the kids. And some women don't want to give that up because it puts them in a vulnerable position. But isn't it funny how a man will want you to put you in a position of weakness? Now, I don't know why that is, and it's actually very interesting to think about. But it's just how human nature is, man. Humans are very complicated. The next one is submission under condition. Men like a submissive woman, but with conditions. In other words, she is submissive under condition. She's not a rug that you can walk over. She's not a pushover. Just like when you work at a job, you submit under your boss's authority under conditions. The conditions are that you pay me on time, and that you respect me, and that you show appreciation for me, right? I'll stay working for you. Unfortunately, some women are submissive under no condition. Some women are submissive because it comes from a place of weakness. It's like women who choose to be housewives, right? They submit themselves to a man because they want to play the role of the stay-at-home mom, while the man plays the role of the provider, right? She takes care of the kids, she provides for the home, and his job is to provide for her and the kid, right? So it's almost like everyone is submitting to each other. The man is submitting to the woman because the man works to provide for them, right? And the woman submits to the man as well, right? So it's a submission under condition, and it comes from a place of strength. And that is attractive because a man can sense that you are independent, you are dependent on him, but you also know how to provide for yourself if you have to.
The act of willfully submitting yourself to someone, even though they know you can live without them, can paradoxically give you a sense of strength. This dynamic taps into the psychology of relationships and power dynamics. By willingly choosing to submit, you exercise agency and control over your actions. It is an intentional decision that requires self-awareness and emotional intelligence. From a psychological perspective, this approach can be empowering for several reasons. Firstly, it allows you to maintain a level of autonomy and independence while still engaging in a submissive role. Knowing that you have the ability to live without someone gives you a strong foundation of self-reliance and resilience. It prevents you from becoming overly dependent on the other person, thereby safeguarding your emotional well-being. Additionally, this act of submission can create a sense of trust and vulnerability within the relationship. When someone knows that you have the strength and capability to walk away, it sets the stage for open and honest communication. It establishes a dynamic where both parties feel secure and confident in expressing their needs and desires. This mutual understanding and acceptance can foster a deeper connection and intimacy. Furthermore, by consciously choosing to submit, you are actively engaging in a power play. This can be seen as a strategic move, allowing you to influence the dynamics of the relationship. By relinquishing some control, you may subtly encourage the other person to step up and take on a more assertive role. This can lead to a healthier balance of power, and prevent one-sided dominance. It's important to note that this approach requires a strong sense of self-esteem and self-worth. It should be rooted in a genuine desire for mutual respect and growth within the relationship. Healthy communication and boundaries are crucial to ensure that the power dynamics remain balanced and that both partners feel valued. In conclusion, willfully submitting yourself to someone, even when they know you can live without them, can provide a sense of strength through the psychological dynamics at play. It allows for autonomy, trust, vulnerability, and the potential for a more balanced power dynamic. However, it is essential to approach this with self-awareness, communication, and a mutual understanding of respect and growth.
The next one is femininity through strength. A lot of people, for example, men, right? A lot of men are masculine because it comes from a place of weakness. In other words, it's an overcompensation. When we're growing up, it's natural not to know yourself, right? And when you're growing up as a boy or girl, it's natural for you to not sense your femininity or your masculinity. And so a lot of kids who don't know how to deal with uncertainty will fabricate the gender that they want to feel. They will fabricate the sense of femininity. They will fabricate the sense of masculinity as an overcompensation, right? And naturally, if you actually just relax and don't force it, you'll naturally find it and it will express itself naturally. Unfortunately, most of us, we learn to fabricate it and it comes across as fake, right? It comes as a man, it'll come across as abrasive, as asshole-ish, as you can't bring that dude around chicks. And as a woman, it'll come across as overly submissive. You'll end up falling and getting in relationships with men who abuse the submissive nature, the feminine nature that you have presented to the world. And they'll abuse it because naturally, if you just allow yourself to get to know yourself over time and not force it because of insecurity, you'll find the feminine within you, but you're also at the same time going to find the masculine, because within you there's a feminine and a masculine, and that masculine will protect you from going too far in the feminine to the point where men will take advantage of it. A man will sense the masculine within you and will be a little bit more wary, and that masculine is the willingness to walk away. That femininity is a desire to nurture. Complete polar opposite energies, one goes in, one goes out. But when you allow yourself to discover it, they undulate depending on the circumstance, like a thermostat that turns on when it gets too cold, right? So to develop that, unfortunately, a lot of us have gone too far in one direction. And the way to fix that is to develop a meditation practice. I'm not kidding with you. What's really going on is that emotionally, you're a wreck. A lot of us are emotional wrecks. And if our emotions are completely discombobulated, you have no control over them, you're gonna lean in on the validation from the opposite sex. And when you lean in on that, which is a man becoming more masculine, as a woman becoming more feminine, you tend to exaggerate a quality within you that if you would have just not touched, it would have been expressed in its natural way. And in order for you to allow it to become expressed in its natural way or to heal it, is to develop a meditation practice, people. Because what's happening is that there's just too much activity, too much trying. And meditation, it's all about not trying. It brings things down to a simmering point where it's not boiling, now it's at a simmering point, and it's something that you can manage. So developing a meditation practice, people. The best thing that you guys can do is to actually check out check out the Vipassana meditation retreat. Go to dharma.org, and then you could register for free 10-day meditation retreat. And if you do this, ladies and gentlemen, everything that I say on this channel, you're gonna apply naturally by just learning to become more at ease with discomfort. Because the reason why we destroy our feminine or masculine is because we are uncomfortable with what we're showing. And when you try to consciously fix it, it makes it worse. You know, what you got to do is stop looking how your behavior is affecting others, and just look within yourself and get comfortable with your uncomfortableness that you have with yourself. And that just heals you from within, and it naturally expresses who you are, which is feminine, but also with a hint of masculinity.
By entering a state of deep relaxation and inner stillness, meditation provides an opportunity to let go of rigid gender roles and societal expectations. Through this practice, individuals can explore and embrace the qualities traditionally associated with both masculinity and femininity, finding a harmonious balance within themselves. Letting go is an essential aspect of meditation as it involves releasing attachments, judgments, and preconceived notions. By relinquishing the need to conform to societal norms, individuals can tap into their authentic selves and access the full spectrum of human qualities. This includes qualities typically associated with the masculine, such as assertiveness, strength, and logic, as well as those associated with the feminine, such as intuition, empathy, and creativity. As meditation cultivates mindfulness and self-awareness, individuals become more attuned to their thoughts, emotions, and sensations. This heightened awareness allows them to recognize and transcend any internal conflicts or imbalances between their masculine and feminine aspects. By acknowledging and accepting all aspects of their being, they can integrate these energies, fostering a sense of wholeness and authenticity. Through regular meditation practice, individuals may uncover hidden beliefs or conditioning that hinder the full expression of their masculine or feminine qualities. They can examine these beliefs with curiosity and compassion, gradually letting go of any self-limiting patterns or expectations. In doing so, they create space for the emergence of their true selves, free from societal constraints and self-imposed limitations. Integrating the masculine and feminine through meditation enables individuals to harness the power of both energies in their lives. They can draw upon the clarity and focus of the masculine, while nurturing their emotional intelligence and connection to others through the feminine. This integration promotes a holistic approach to personal growth and relationships, fostering a deeper sense of balance, authenticity, and fulfillment.
Now, the next one is being nurturing. Now, there's plenty of reasons why nurturing is a feminine trait that's attractive. It's attractive in a guy, don't get me wrong. But in a guy, you would be more turned on when a man is defending you from somebody who's trying to rob you. A lot more than a man who's cuddling with a baby, all right? Like, let's just keep it honest, right? And there's evolutionary reasons why. You want a man who's able to protect you and your child, okay? Like, that's attractive. And the reason why it's attractive is because it's evolutionarily advantageous to be able to have a man who protects you and your child, because a woman is most vulnerable when she has a kid, right? So a man also, a woman on the other hand, is what's beneficial for me as a man. Well, while I'm protecting you, I want a woman who could protect the child, who's not going to abuse a child, who has patience to take care of a kid. So qualities of a woman being nurturing is attractive. So whenever a man sees honestly, I don't know what some guys think, but whenever I see a woman who I'm attracted to smile with a baby, I don't know why this is attractive, but it's attractive, right? When you see a woman and you could tell that she could be a good mother, that people, again, I'm not the human programmer. I did not make men, but it is attractive. And that's because it's a prelude of what she could look like with your kid, right? So those nurturing qualities could be helping the poor, volunteering, being nice to children, being nice to animals, being nice to older people. Having that nurturing quality gives a woman more bonus points than a man, right? But have a man being tough gets more bonus points than a woman. In other words, studies show that having tattoos is attractive, right? But in a woman, it makes her relatively attractive. But in a man, having tattoos, it makes him even more attractive. Like certain sexes, like success, right? Financial success has more positive effects on a man when it comes to finding a woman, as opposed to a woman finding a man. Right? It actually hurts them a little bit more. So nurturing qualities, right? And these things, you could look, people. I don't want to say this, but these things are things you could fake. I don't want you to fake it, but these are things that could be faked, and that's why me as a man, I'm a little bit more critical when it comes to observing behavior, because a lot of the things that you see in the beginning are usually fake. You know, you could get a vibe off of them, and that's true, right? Their vibe, you could definitely get a more accurate feeling of their vibe. But what they tell you, the things about them that you hear and see, that those things could be fake. What you can't fake is the creepy feeling that some people could give you. A lot of the times, whenever you get a weird vibe off of people, it's usually because your ancestors are warning you or some shit, right?
People's vibes, or the energy they emit, cannot be easily faked or masked. While individuals can lie about themselves and temporarily behave in a positive manner, their true vibe is something that we feel viscerally and instinctually. This ability to perceive vibes has been evolutionarily beneficial, as it allowed our ancestors to assess others' intentions and trustworthiness without relying solely on verbal communication. Throughout human history, nonverbal cues played a crucial role in survival and social interactions. By sensing vibes, our ancestors could quickly evaluate whether someone posed a threat or could be trusted, even before words were exchanged. This intuitive perception provided them with valuable information about an individual's true intentions, emotions, and character. Vibes are like energetic signals that radiate from a person, conveying information about their emotional state, authenticity, and underlying energy. Our bodies and emotions act as sophisticated detectors, picking up on subtle shifts and nuances in these energetic vibrations. We may feel a sense of comfort and ease when encountering someone with a positive vibe, or conversely, experience unease or discomfort around someone whose energy feels off or inauthentic. Being able to discern vibes without relying on words or conscious thought allowed our ancestors to make quick judgments and decisions necessary for survival. This intuitive perception helped them identify potential allies, detect danger, and navigate complex social dynamics. It was a way to evaluate others based on gut feelings and visceral responses, bypassing the limitations of verbal communication and potential deception. In modern times, while we have become more reliant on verbal communication, our ability to sense vibes remains ingrained within us. We still experience intuitive feelings and gut instincts when encountering new people or situations. These vibes can provide valuable insights into someone's character, compatibility, and authenticity, complementing the information conveyed through verbal communication. The ability to perceive vibes allows us to form deeper connections, build trust, and make more informed judgments about others. It helps us navigate interpersonal relationships, detect potential threats, and align ourselves with individuals who resonate with our values and energy. By tapping into our intuitive perception of vibes, we can better understand and relate to others on a subconscious level, enhancing our overall social interactions and well-being. In conclusion, people's vibes cannot be easily faked, and our ability to sense them is a fundamental aspect of human interaction. While individuals may lie or temporarily behave in a certain way, their true vibe is something that we feel viscerally and instinctually. This ability to perceive vibes has been evolutionarily beneficial, as it allowed our ancestors to assess others' intentions and character without relying solely on verbal communication. By honing our intuitive perception of vibes, we can gain valuable insights into others, make more informed judgments, and navigate social dynamics more effectively.
So at the end of the day, all of this comes down to controlling your emotions, people. If you learn to control your emotions, all of these issues will be solved. Plain and simple. Develop a meditation practice. You could either purchase my course, Emotional Mastery, or you could do the best thing for yourself is go to a 10-day meditation retreat for 10 days. Go to dharma.org. And like for me, I have a hard time saying other things because I know there's one thing out there that exists that could just completely blow your reality. Now, if that's not an option because you don't have the time to do that, you could purchase the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, right? A lot of the things I teach in the meditation retreat, he teaches in that book, or get my courses. Outside of that, you could also go to therapy or make more friends. All of those things have been shown to provide emotional support. But when it comes down to dealing with your traumas, deep traumas, therapy and meditation. It's just that simple. Therapy and meditation. And if you develop those traits, you're going to see a lot of positive results because a lot of the times, the reason why a lot of our relationships don't work out, it comes down to just self-sabotage. Either you can't control your emotions or both of you guys just don't know how to communicate. Like so many of my relationships have failed simply because me and her just didn't communicate well. Like I even look back at some of my text messages from past relationships and I could see this could have worked out if I would have just been a better communicator. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to myfoottraction.org, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't purchased any of my courses, we have a special bundle deal for everyone. So that you can purchase all of my courses, meaning you could purchase the psychological game of attraction, natural chemistry, and nice girl, along with all of the bonuses. Originally, if you purchase everything without the bundle, it'll be around $500 to be honest with you. But right now, if you guys purchase it with the bundle, you guys will be able to get all of these courses: psychological game of attraction, which is for women who are single; natural chemistry, which is for women who are in a relationship; nice girl, which is a course on assertiveness, along with all of the bonuses: social mastery, practical mastery in terms of how to master anything, social mastery in terms of how to master your social skills, and the laws of human nature, wherein it's part of the Robert Greene book club I used to have. All of these, naturally, like I said, it's $500. Now you can get it at $394, which is essentially 20% off everything. But if you guys want to purchase a more affordable bundle, you guys can purchase the bundle without the bonuses, and that will be at $224 rather than the $300. Well, rather than the $293 that you guys will naturally purchase it. So you could purchase it with the bundle or without the bundle. You could purchase it with the bonuses or without the bonuses. It's all of the work that I put in the last 4 years, in the last 5 years actually, all of the research that I've done. And this course, rather than watching all of my videos, and because they could be random and you could sort of like lose the big picture because there's just so many videos, you guys get all of the content condensed in a course. Trust me, people, if you guys purchase this, you won't regret it. If you haven't purchased it, hopefully this will push you towards it, because it's something that I believe in, and everyone who's purchased my course have been satisfied with it. And if they didn't like it, I always give their money back. I have never rejected a refund. All right. So purchase it right now. Click on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle, and I'll see you guys inside.